You're listening to the Telltale channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
Hi, Owen. This is Evan/Nucleomaniac, and I was wondering, what would be some good questions to ask Jehovah's Witnesses that they show up, or friends of yours, or anything like that? Love the stuff you do. Thank you. Bye.
I was writing a book at one point that was basically the Jehovah's Witness version of the CES letter. I don't know if you guys know what the CES letter is, but it's basically this big long letter that somebody named Jeremy Runnels wrote to the Mormon Church, and it was questions for them, basically inconsistencies in their belief system. So he was demanding answers to those inconsistencies. It was things like Joseph Smith had a King James Bible that was written between these years, say like 1620 and 1640. There were very specific errors from that very specific translation of the King James Version of the Bible, right? Why are those specific errors in the Book of Mormon, as if that, he just came up with them off the top of his head? Why are those errors in there? They shouldn't be. Or there's a claim by the Mormon Church that Native Americans are descendants of Israelites. We have DNA testing proving that they are not descended from Israelites. They are descendants of Asians, largely. Why does the Mormon Church claim this stuff? And I mean, this letter goes into just vivid detail about why these are inconsistencies, why they should be addressed, and it pretty much completely invalidates the Book of Mormon. It is probably the single most valuable thing to come out in the past since Mormonism was created to debunk Mormonism. And I was writing something like that for Jehovah's Witnesses, basically the Jehovah's Witnesses CES letter. And I got pretty deep in it, but I wasn't super comfortable with it, so I hadn't really moved forward with it lately. But it is on my list. Question 1. Do you believe that death didn't exist until Adam and Eve sinned? And if so, what happened to the dinosaurs? Question 2. Why did God allow humans who had sinned, namely Adam and Eve, to procreate instead of quarantining them and creating a new perfect breeding pair? Number 4. How can you justify the early president of the Watchtower Society having a large mansion constructed with members' money during the Great Depression in the US and deeded to Bible characters? How can you justify him choosing to live in it until those Bible characters returned? Number 5. According to Deuteronomy 18:22, we shouldn't fear people who prophesy falsely. After 30 failed predictions, and one current prediction out that's bound to fail in the next 15 years or so, when should we stop listening to you? Number 6. How can you show your faces publicly again after popularizing phrases such as stay alive to 75, telling people that's when Armageddon was going to take place? Number 7. Do you agree with the 1947 Watchtower that excommunication by the Catholic Church is a pagan practice, or at the very least wrong? And if so, why do you practice it in the form of disfellowshipping? Number 8. Do you think that pagan practices are wrong? If so, why do you wear wedding rings, which is firmly rooted in pagan tradition? Number 9. How can you justify desperately begging your members for money when the founder clearly said that God would supply the organization with enough money as long as it still had God's blessing?